Hello, everyone. I'm going to present our research entitled The Effect of SNS COVID-19 Vaccine Frames and Uncivil Comment, Emotions, and Credibility. I share my screen. I'm In-jae, a senior researcher at the Institute of Global Convergence Content Research Center at Sungkyunkwan University. And I'm presenting this paper on behalf of my co-authors listed on the slide. COVID-19 vaccination is one of the important scientific issues in Korea. Social media is an important communicator in communicating information about COVID-19 vaccinations. Currently, most Korean media outlets deliver articles through social media such as Facebook and Twitter. As a result, online comments attached to online articles are also influential as part of this article. Based on these discussions, this study explored the impact of COVID-19 vaccination articles and online comments on emotion and credibility. Specifically, the effect of vaccine user frames, narrative frame versus numerical frame, and the different comment type, uncivil comment versus civil comment on issue relating to anxiety, anger, sympathy, and credibility were all investigated. I run out of time, so I keep literature review. This slide is about research hypotheses. Hypotheses are as follows. H1, the COVID-19 vaccine narrative frame will further increase discrete emotions compared to the numerical frame. H2, the COVID-19 vaccine numerical frame will further increase credibility compared to the narrative frame. The interaction of the COVID-19 vaccine frames and comment types on civil comment versus civil comment will have a significant impact on emotion and credibility. For the experiment, a 2x2 factorial design was used. For example, narrative frame and uncivil comment condition, narrative numerical frame and uncivil comment condition, narrative frame and civil comment condition, numerical frame, civil comment and civil comment condition. In December 2021, an experimental survey was conducted through an online survey company. This slide is about manipulation check items. As a result of the analysis of the manipulation check, the difference between the vaccine frames and the comment types was significant. Thus, the composition of the experimental stimulus was successful. We measured discrete emotions, for example, anxiety 4 items, anger measured 2 items, sympathy was measured 2 items, and we measured credibility and demographic variables. A pretest was conducted before the main experiment in November 2021. Thus, no confounding issue was detected. This slide is about correlation metrics between measured variables. This slide is main results. The results showed that the narrative frame increased discrete emotions more than the numerical frame, while the numerical frame increased the vaccine credibility to a greater extent than the narrative frame. This figure is about the interaction effect of news vaccine frames and comment types on sympathy. If you look at the picture, you can find that sympathy was observed as being the highest in the narrative frame under the severe comment condition. This figure is about the interaction effect of vaccine frames and comment types on credibility. If you look at the picture, you can find that credibility was highest in the numerical frame under the uncivil comment type. This slide is about discussion. Based on the results, the theoretical and the social implications that this study intends to present are as follows. First, this study examines how SNS articles related to the COVID-19 vaccine affected the emotions and cognition of the general public. It is an empirical demonstration that narrative frame and numerical frame exert influence in different pathways. Second, as the research of this study showed, online comments combined with the COVID-19 vaccine frames had a significant effect on emotion and cognition. These results mean that social media comments do not exert influence independently, but when combined with a specific article, online comments serve as a dimension of the frame. Since people's reactions and attitudes to a particular article can vary depending on the type of comment, it suggests that consideration of uncivil comments is necessary. Currently, the social media comment has an ambivalent characteristic. The comments serve as a public forum for public discussion on a specific issue. On the other hand, social media comment also plays a role as a space for indiscriminately slandering and attacking opponents based on anonymity. If we want to make the SNS comment space a place for respectable communication, we will need to enable users to have a digital citizenship or digital literacy. Along with this, there will have to be an institutional mechanism in place to reduce social media uncivil comments. This work was supported by the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Korea and the National Research Foundation of Korea. If you would like to know more about the experimental stimulus and the research of the analysis, please feel free to contact me by email. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.